Yeah.
All right, that's my bad.
Here we go. What up, y'all? Welcome to the Blazin Trail podcast. I am your host, Todd Kylach, aka K1. This podcast is all about giving the listeners a certain mindset and a perspective that will allow them to be on the right path. So, we're switching it up today. We got the Wizards of Oz that work behind the scenes, but now they're in front of the camera. So, guest number one is a filmmaker, a spoken word artist, a creative, a college student, a hard worker, a former co-worker of mine, and the tech and editing man. Guest number two is a videographer, a photographer, a social media savvy guy, the owner of Nelson King Photography, another former co-worker of mine, and the camera guy and editor as well. So everybody, Trailblazers out there, please, everybody welcome Jack Buchanan and Nelson King to the front of the podcast. Yeah. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, okay, we hear guys in the background. They've seen Jack before, but they've never seen Nelson or you guys together. So I thought it was only right. So this question is for any of y'all to go first, and then we'll just keep that same rotation. So this is Jack, and this is Nelson. One of y'all tell us where you were born so we can get some background.
You got it.
All right. I was born here. I was born in Lincoln. It was a great place to grow up. That's it. I was born in Lincoln.
And Nelson?
All right. I was born technically in Hastings, Nebraska, but then I lived in Grand Island, Nebraska for all 18 years of my life. Moved once there, and then moved here for college and everything.
Hell yeah.
To Lincoln. So that's where
Okay.
I'm currently at.
So what led you to pursue college, Jack? Do you think it was society pressure? Did you want to do it because your father went to the university?
I think there were a lot of reasons that led me to pursue it. Definitely societal pressures. It's just kind of assumed that that's your next step. Obviously, college, it does a lot of good things for people. Can connect a lot of folks together. It's a great pool to find people who are like really interested in things that you're interested in. But yeah, it just sort of seemed like the next thing to do.
Hell yeah. And what major were you?
I'm a broadcast production major.
Love it. That's why he's here. So, Nelson, you said you came to Lincoln for college. What led you to come to the realization that college wasn't the right fit for you at the time?
Actually, like right before I came here, I wasn't even gonna go to college.
Oh.
And then it was pretty much like a month or two before, and I was like, all right, I guess
You're
I'm
on the fence?
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I guess I should probably go because I have nothing else planned for my life right now. And so I decided to go. I joined a frat and everything.
Nice.
And
You gonna rep them? What are they? Or you can't?
I won't say it. I won't say it. But there was a lot of stuff that we did.
Yeah.
And, like the freshman fun activities,
Right.
I'll say.
Right.
Yeah.
And we did those for like all through the first semester. And then about like midway through it, I'm like, God, there's just something about this. Yeah, there's something about this that I don't really like too much. And for like the first time, I'm gonna get deep here for a second.
Go ahead.
For like the first time in my life, like I felt some sort of like depression.
Oh, okay.
And literally like I wasn't going to class, like I wouldn't do anything, like any of my homework. Like I would literally just lay in bed from like sun up to sundown.
Damn.
For like the longest time. And then one day I just woke up and I'm like, you know what? Like I can't do it anymore.
Oh, I'm glad that you made the decision.
Yeah, so
It's the first step.
dropped out. Actually, I'll take this back. This is actually kind of a funny story. So I was like, you know what? Like I'm gonna at least go sign up for classes for second semester, and then I'll make my decision like before classes start. And I went to go like sign up for classes. I talked to one person. They sent me somewhere else to another building. Talked to them. They're like, you need to go here. It's because I didn't have student loans.
Oh, yeah.
And so like I needed to get those
ASAP.
paid for and everything. And so they were sending me around to everywhere. And pretty much by the time the office closed, like all of them closed, I went to the last person and they were like, oh yeah, like you just need to go back to the first person that you went to.
Oh my God.
I walked out of there. I was walking down that one road right by Wendy's and Chipotle.
Yeah.
I was walking down that road and I'm like, you know what? Like, I fucking quit. Like that's basically why. That's what pushed me over the edge there. Yeah. Was that goose chase that they sent me on.
Because there's been a couple times for me that they kind of set me on a goose chase.
Mm-hmm. It's horrible.
Because I know that there's a lot of workload on them, so it's kind of like, hey, right now, I'm busy right now. Can you just go check with them? But yeah, what major were you going to set out on?
Finance.
Yeah. Money guy.
You don't really strike me as a finance guy.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't see me as a money guy because like I was horrible in math and everything, but I like money. Yeah, you know, I don't really like all the numbers and everything with math, but like I like money. I like knowing how it works and everything.
Exactly.
But
I agree. Oh, okay, so toss up for anybody. What led you guys to believe? No. What kind of advice is necessary now for kids who are about to leave high school? Do you think they should get their feet wet in getting different types of jobs before they go to college, or do you think they should go to college and then kind of go the undecided route and then figure it out as they go and take classes?
I think
if they get paid for it, because there's so many dynamics. But yeah, go ahead.
I think if you don't know what you're gonna do, don't go.
Yeah,
it's a waste of time. It's a waste of money.
Yeah,
you're gonna pick some major that you don't like because people are telling you, oh, you can't be undecided for this many years. You're going to waste money not being able to, by doing these classes that you don't need to take. You should specialize. You should focus. But if you don't know what you're going to do, wait. You're young people. You're 18 years old. Mm-hmm. There's plenty of time in the world.
Yeah.
I know it feels like, as a young person, I was there, man. I was there. Mm-hmm. I know it feels like this is the
make or break.
Yeah, this is the light. This is the part of your life that has come into like the climax. Like this is the decision. But it's not. I promise. It's not that deep. Take some time. Yeah. If you're going to go, if you don't know what you want to do, my other piece of advice is just do stuff you like, man. Find a hobby.
Yes.
Meet people who are doing the things you like. Do that for a while. Work, save some money. If your parents are on you or if whoever's on you, go to SEC.
Yep.
If you're in Nebraska, obviously. I don't know. But go to SEC. Super cheap compared to UNL. Taking your undergrads and like, if you're undecided and doing all this stuff at UNL,
go to SEC.
It's like $10,000 more.
Yes,
more than that. Yeah, that's way more.
3 classes is like at the time it was like $1,000.
Yeah, that's like how it still is now.
Yeah,
it's dirt cheap.
Yeah,
go to SEC. Cheap. You'll save so much more money. You can transfer your credits, and that's only if people are bugging you.
Exactly.
But my first piece of advice is just find out what you like. Just take some time to figure out what you want to do. You just got out of this schooling thing and into adult life. It's a tough transition for a lot of people. So just take your time.
Yes.
Yeah. I think like if you know what you want to do or you think you know what you want to do, I think they need to have this in high school. I know they do, but like more of like job shadowing and everything.
Yeah.
Because like if you are like thinking, okay, I'm going to go to college, I'm going to become a doctor, blah, blah, blah. And you like get to the end of the school and you're like, oh my God, like I hate this.
Yeah.
Like why did I just waste 4 years on this?
Exactly.
And $50,000.
Yeah.
You know? But I think you should go job shadow, see if you like it. And then if at the end of that you're like I don't know what I want to do, like Jack said, just basically what do you do in your free time? Like what do you do, or what do you spend most of your time like researching or going out and trying to find more information on it? Like I think that's where most people should start.
Exactly. I think people should have the same kind of intensity and focus as like if they were to be in school.
Yeah.
Like just because you're not in school doesn't mean like you could just kind of slack off.
Yeah.
Like if you're going down this route, just know that you almost have to not work harder, but you just have to work smart and become more efficient, because you're kind of like your peers are on a structure where they have the university's help on these classes. This is the education. So they're on a structured plan. As for you, it's kind of conjumbled. You don't have structure. You don't have skills of organization.
Yeah, I was talking to Lex about that the other day too. Like the thing about this and what like a lot of us are trying to do, like it's not like a 4-year thing where like at the end of the 4 years you can say like, okay, I learned everything.
Yes.
Like I can now do this job. But with us, like after 4 years or 5 years, 6 years, like you might not learn or have learned everything yet. And you're still trying to work your way up. So it's not like a set time limit on when you're going to become successful.
Yes.
And so I think that's a scary thing.
very
That might
scary.
scare people away. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I think once you actually start to embrace that a little bit and be like, I have a lot to learn, but like, let's just get this going.
Exactly.
Another thing too, there are dumb people who graduate college.
Amen.
You're not a dumb person because you don't go. You're not
So
a dumb
true.
person because you don't go right away.
Yep.
You can always take classes. There are dumb people who graduate college. There are dumb people who are making 6 figures right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's probably pretty unlikely, but they exist. They exist.
I've
So
had classes with people who are older.
yeah, look, it's just about what you want for yourself.
Yes.
Take some time to figure out what you want for yourself. Take some time to get to know yourself. You're changing all the time if you're 18.
Facts.
You're changing. You've already changed so much in these 4 years that was high school.
Like I'm so glad that I had like legal issues at the beginning of like my education career because it gave me time to actually figure out what I wanted to do instead of just willy-nilly going to shit.
I think that's a blessing in disguise.
Yes, because I was gonna go down the mechanical engineering route just because that's what my dad wanted me to be.
Right.
I'm not good with math. Like I'm good with math, but not like Calc 3. Like what the fuck am I gonna do with that? Like that's not me. Like I was drawing cars. My dad like, you should be an engineer, mechanical, work with cars. I'm like, but I still have to learn math, or I could have just learned the trade and went to SEC. But I didn't know that was possible.
It's I think a lot of people are trying to get degrees for other people.
Facts.
You're trying to get degrees for your family.
Yes.
You're trying to get degrees for
I think the status of the title.
Yeah.
Yes.
Say like, yeah, I'm going to college. I'm actually doing something with my life.
There's it comes with some weight.
Yeah, and I think if you're not on that route, people kind of just look at you differently a little bit, unless they didn't do it
How
themselves.
do you feel like people look at you?
I think when I tell them, like, I'm honest with people.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I dropped out of college.
Yeah.
And they kind of like you know, like kind of give you like a look of like, oh, like, so you're not doing anything with your life. And then like I tell them like, oh, I do photography, like I do videos and everything. Like I'm trying to grow my business and everything like that. And they're like, oh, wow, like people who don't go to college can actually do something. Like
It's that stigma because like there's a lot of people that do want to quit. There's a lot of times that I wanted to be like, man, this is not it, you know? But a lot of people just push on through because they're already like
so many dollars in
exactly.
debt.
So I was like,
already invested this much time.
I'm gonna do it.
that's how you
But
lose
like
in the
people kind of like envy that like I dropped out and you dropped out at an early rate where you have very very minimal debt
Yeah.
versus somebody who went 4 years. And sometimes people who go 4 years, they'll go and be like, damn, I don't like what I majored in. I'm gonna go do a master's in something, just so they could dodge the payments, and then do their master's and be like, okay, this is what I wanted,
Right.
But in this field, I'm not gonna make much money, so I'm gonna go be a doctor.
And listen, man, college can do a lot of good things. College isn't bad. College, my dad put it to me very well one time. He said, a lot of people who are going to these colleges are not necessarily smarter or more intelligent than other folks, but they know people. They're given more chances.
Yes.
You have familiarity with whatever field you're going to.
Yes.
College is good at introducing you to professionals. A lot of your professors are
you
retired.
Went to UNL?
Yeah.
That's a talking point.
A lot of your professors are retired professionals. They know the industries that you want to get into. But that's the thing. If you don't know what you want to do, you're just wasting time. Like,
no doubt.
figure it out. If you're seriously, that's the biggest piece of advice I give
Yes.
anybody. Just figure it out. Take some time. Take a break.
Okay, so what person, what show, what creative visual art led you down this path of you wanting to be a broadcast and production major and you going to photography? So
Kind of funny. I didn't really want to be a broadcast production major, but you can't tell somebody, or at least at the time, I was thinking, I can't tell somebody I'm going to film school, especially having not done anything like that before.
Yeah.
I can't be like, oh, I'm going to film school. It's just not something that sounds like somebody who's going to be like making money or have like a solid career. And I was so worried who knows why, because I was a kid and I would care what my parents think about me. I still am young. I'm 21. It's not like I'm too far removed. But so what led me to it was because I wanted to do everything that the film students were doing. I wanted to have access to all that stuff, just not say that I have a film degree.
I like that. Nelson? So what led you to the visual arts, a person, a show?
It was right after like I dropped out and I was working at a job at Sam's Club, actually. I was a salesman. Yeah. And I was working there for a while. And then I'm a big YouTube guy. Me too. Like, love watching YouTube, always on it. And so I was watching some like travel film, like style videos. And I think it was Sam Colder.
Oh, yeah. You showed me him.
Yeah. He has a video, Hey Tim.
Oh, I don't know if I've seen it.
Look it up. Look up Hey Tim's by Sam Colder. It's an insane video. It's about his brother who passed away. And he kind of just talks about his life. But super cool. Like, he's insane with a camera and editing. But, yeah, I was watching those. And I'm like, oh, my God, like, this is sick. Like, I want to do something like this.
Exactly.
Or at least, like, be able to make videos and take photos like this. So I basically just, like, right after that, just jumped in and bought this expensive camera at the time. And, yeah, that was basically it for me. Hole. Yeah.
Because there's so much to learn when you start out something.
I know.
That's why I started Blazin Trail, because it's like, oh, I want to do this. And then you're like, the door opens and now you're like flooded with all this information and trying to find ways to compress it and compartmentalize all this information to see what can I actually use right now.
Right.
And then as I go, I'll learn, you know?
You learn by doing.
Exactly. Okay, so Nelson, what are some barriers that someone should think about when it comes to photography?
I would say, it's a toughie, actually. I don't really think there's too many barriers with photography, you know, because it's art and art is subjective.
Yes.
You know, so what looks good to me may not look good to someone else. So I think there's really not too many barriers, like just like you said, like just start doing it, grab your phone. Pretty much everyone has a phone these days.
Yes.
And you can grab your phone, start taking pictures, videos on that, or you can go buy a used camera.
Yes.
You know, they're not horribly expensive, like just save up the money. But yeah, I don't really think there's too many barriers for this at all, actually.
Yeah. Before I ask you the same, Nelson, there's a stigma of, I need the best camera. I need the best equipment. But I've come to realize, like, as long as you know how the capabilities of what you're working with, you can make it look as good as somebody with a big camera who don't know shit about what they're doing.
Yeah. I will say, pretty much all about lighting.
Yeah.
Like, because I think photo means light.
Yeah.
And literally, like, video, like, photography, it's all about lighting and how your lighting setup is.
Because it does change big time.
It does. And I also think, like, editing, too.
Yeah.
Like, that's probably...
That's the hard part.
Yeah, that's, like, one of the major ones. It's like, if you don't know how to edit, then your pictures are going to look like crap. Your videos are going to look like crap, too. So...
Jack, what are some barriers that you think somebody should know broadcast major production? Because, like, let's say you didn't go the route of college.
Yeah.
So, like, especially with Jesse, our last guest, like, he went through the route of film school. So, like, what do you think somebody can do? Would it just be using your phone, kind of getting these ideas?
If you want to start making videos, like that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, use your phones.
Yeah.
iPhones are, if you have one, they're really great, but Samsungs and all those other sorts of phones have really great cameras too. But you have to, like Nelson said, you have to be able to control the other variables, like lighting, and just do research.
Yeah.
Just do research. Look up, literally, like Google how to shoot a good video on my phone. And there's a lot of resources that you can do. I mean, you can access, and you'll gain insight by doing it. You'll figure out things here and there. So yeah, just start with what you have. See if it's something that you like. If you want to keep doing it.
Yeah.
If
Don't
it's
do what
not,
I did.
then don't go.
Luckily, it worked out, and I actually like it. But
Okay.
Share with your friends too. That's
big.
Show your friends like, hey, I made this. I know it seems weird, like you may not think that it's like professional quality, so they might not want to see it. But no, just be like, oh, I made this. I bet you they'll be like, oh, that's really cool, and that may affect how you feel about it.
Exactly, and that could also lead them to go down that route. Like, damn, you did that?
Yeah.
How? Like, and they kind of tell you the process. Oh, is that easy? And then when they do it, it might be hard, but it's like, oh, this is actually pretty fun. So which Jack, which has been more valuable for you so far? Your education, work experience, or like your career right now? Because like right now you work as a detailer.
Yeah.
So that's literally focusing on details when it comes to now you're in class worrying about to film whatever project. Do you think the education lays the foundation, or do you think your life experience lays the foundation, and then education helps you do the fine tuning?
I think that the education sort of gives you the foundation.
Yeah.
The education is the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
Hey, here's how you set up a camera. Hey, here's how you set up lighting.
Yes.
Hey, here's how you do this. Just the sort of stuff that might be a little difficult to access, like online or something, just because you go there and they're like, okay, if we were to set up an interview, here's step 1, here's step 2, here's step 3, and then they sit you down and you do it like with them. So that's and you have a professor there who's a professional, so they know like what to look for. As far as my life experience goes, and like my job, I don't look at that as like I look at it as a job. I need to get some money.
It's
going.
helping you.
Yeah, but I'm not a very detail oriented person, which is kind of counterintuitive for this sort of work, as you need to really be on your stuff.
But maybe that's what a team is for. Like you're the big idea guy, and other people can fill in the spots where you think you might be lacking in.
I love working with other people. Most of my projects have all been with other people. I think that finding a community of people who are like on the same thing that you're on, or try to do the same thing that you're doing, and just being able to, because I mean, I have friends who we don't talk about this kind of stuff, even though I might want to. They just don't have the same level of interest I do. So finding people who do is just like you get different things from different friends. So find a community is important. Yeah.
Nelson, what has been more valuable for you, your education or your life experience? Just because you didn't go to college doesn't mean you don't have education.
Yeah.
YouTube University.
That's right. That is right. I would probably say life experience. I think when you're just getting started, definitely looking and figuring out how to do the technical stuff is great to learn first and at least know what things are supposed to do and everything. And then actually going out and doing it, that's where the real work begins.
Exactly.
Because you get all excited, you're like, okay, like I know how to do this now. And then you set up the camera, get everything going, get all your footage, get back to edit it, and then you're like, wow, this looks like crap. You're like, wow, I am not as good as I thought I was. But yeah, I definitely think experience and actually getting your hands dirty and doing all that stuff is going to benefit you more in the long run.
Hell yeah. So since we're kind of like speaking about that, so what advice would you give somebody who wants to pursue a career in photography? Like specific advice.
Go shoot every day. That's something that I need to do myself too. But if you start out as a beginner and you start just shooting every single day, just editing the photos, you don't even have to post them anywhere. Like just keep them to yourself and see how they look.
Portfolio,
and you're gonna start seeing results extremely fast if you're doing it that much and you're doing it consistently.
That scared me. So we at 25 minutes. I'll ask. Okay, yeah. Jack, what would be some advice for somebody wanting to pursue the career of broadcasting / production?
It's a little different because
yours is really different.
Most of those careers are involved in like larger industries. So broadcasting and video production, you can be a freelancer. There's people who do that. I've had professors who are freelancers and they're very successful and they make money and they do all this stuff. But it's not like they weren't working in the industry beforehand.
Yeah.
So, like when I was in high school, I worked for a news station. I pulled cable. So like when the guys would go out to camera to like film events, they were at the Cornhusker State games, that sort of thing. I would just be like towing cables for them and just being around, like seeing what it's actually like what these guys are doing and talking to them. I know this guy who used to be a storm chaser. He would like go around and film tornadoes and do stuff like that. So just meeting the people, seeing what it's like. Cause I didn't know, like cameraman positions, that sort of thing. Those workers are generally pretty transient. Yeah. So like, this guy that I was talking to, the same guy who used to be a storm chaser in Nebraska, he worked in Florida for several years. He's been all over the country. So then you start thinking like, oh, is that something that I would want to do?
Exactly.
But those are the questions you got to ask yourself when you're picking a career. So I would say just try to find professional ways that you can get involved and see what it's really like.
So that's what you were literally saying, like job shadowing in a sense. Okay. We'll just stop right now. Yeah. We'll be right back. We'll have a word from our sponsor. This podcast episode is brought to you by Yato. Yato stands for You Are the One. Yato was born at the intersection of a lifestyle and fashion. Due to their inspiring collections and customer service, they have been highly successful since day one. Yato wanted to sponsor Blazin' the Trail podcast because they believe in platforms that give people inspiration, platforms that present stories of adversity, and wanted a podcast that gave practical and applicable ways for any person to achieve their goals. So they have agreed to give a 15% off coupon off your total order by using code BAT, as in the black bird. So use code BAT to get 15% off of your total order. Back to scheduled programming. Thank you to the sponsor. As we were saying before, we kind of touched on some of the resources, but let's talk about the nitty-gritty. What were the resources that helped you along the way?
I think it depends project to project. A lot of the stuff that I did when I first started out was just like effing around. I was just... didn't have a lot of help. I was just kind of out there on my own with friends and hitting record and having fun. And if you're not having fun doing what you're doing, then you shouldn't be doing it. Yeah. So that's a lot of what started out. But a lot of the resources that helped me were when I was taking classes. Because I learn by doing. I'm like that kind of person. So when it got time to like get down to do stuff, I mean, you look at a camera and it's pretty intimidating. All the buttons and dials and things and...
ISO, aperture.
So yeah, we would just literally, my textbook is like, here's what this button does. Here's what it looks like. Like here, you can change it this way. You can change it that way. And I'm like, oh, great. But you can find resources like that online. I'm sure that the Canon websites or whatever sort of Sony websites, whatever camera you have has detailed breakdowns of what each of the features are.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, literally like study, take notes.
Yes.
Here's what this dial does. Here's what this button does. Because if you know the capabilities of your tools, you're going to be more effective at using them.
Nelson, what is a good starter camera for somebody wanting to get? This could be for you too. What is a good starter camera for people who are wanting to get into creative arts?
Camera we're recording on right now,
the Canon M50.
The new version actually just came out of it. The
M2?
Mark, yeah, the Mark II.
Hell yeah!
So I think that's like $500-600. That's
so
when you're
the same price range.
Yeah, so like that's when you're ready to invest in it, and you know, like okay, like I actually want to pursue this for a while.
Yeah,
you know, so getting that, it's gonna have everything that you are gonna need, and it'll last you for a very long time. Yeah. I think it's like beginner and intermediate, honestly, because you throw a nicer lens on there besides like the kit lens, and you can start taking like. I don't want to see better photos because then I'm applying that.
That you need a bigger lens.
Yeah, but like once you start ready to do all that stuff, you can throw the nicer lenses on there. You can do whatever, get all the accessories for it, and it'll work just fine. But yeah, Canon M50.
What cameras do you guys use at school?
It's a similar thing.
Is it the Canon Rebel series?
Yeah, they're the Rebels. They go up to the 7, the EOS 7 or whatever.
Yeah.
And those are pretty like beefy.
Yeah.
But
That's
again,
what I liked about the university.
at the university, that's another thing too about college.
Yeah.
To go back to our conversation before is colleges have resources.
Yes.
Yep.
So you don't have to finance everything on your own.
Yes.
Colleges have a lot of resources. They give us the entire Adobe Creative Suite.
Yeah.
So I don't use
That's
Photoshop.
nice.
I don't
Yeah.
use InDesign.
I wish I would have done it.
But I have it.
Yeah.
And that's not even for just journalism majors. It's everybody.
Yeah, that's what when I found that out, I was like, wait, I've had this the past 2 years. Oh, I can borrow this camera. I thought I had to be a journalism major. No. What? Oh, you want a tripod too? Okay, just bring it back in 3 days.
Oh my gosh.
So it's like if you have a plan in place, you can get shit done. And
That's what I
then
used
you can
to
go
do.
upstairs in the Love Library where they have the Adobe Creative Cloud already on those computers.
I used to do every weekend. So if you check out a camera from the J School on Thursday, you have 2 days before you're supposed to bring it back. But if you check it out on Thursday, Friday happens, and then the weekend happens.
Yeah.
So you have 3 days.
That's smart.
So what I would do, I did like a little poetry series with my friends. I wrote several poems, and then we thought of ways to like shoot them and try to make little videos out of them. So every weekend we were doing this. I would get my camera. We had the plan how we were going to shoot it. I'll go to my friend's basement, horribly lit. We had one tungsten light bulb. It was so yellow, looked like crap. It's funny looking back on them now, but we would go in there, pound it out, shoot it like we were on a freaking set in Los Angeles. Same level of intensity. I have jeans that are still stained from red paint that I did for one of those things.
Was that one of they dumped water on you?
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember seeing that. Yeah.
That was my friend's idea. It was really
You're like,
funny.
hey, darling.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Jack, as a screenwriter, what are some essential things that need to be understood before
screenwriter.
heading? Yeah. Okay. Do you need to at least do your research on the structure of stories, or can you just kind of willy nilly kind of make a story?
Well, like Nelson said before, art is subjective. So it really depends on what your goals are. If your goals, like, okay, let's say I want to make a short film.
Yeah.
They're a lot more lenient in like the ability to be out there, to be expressive, to do something different. Just because that's the nature of that sort of media. Like these real high art house type organizations are looking for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But if you want to like make movies like you see on the big screen,
Yeah.
those are real corporate.
Exactly.
So those are real, like they're screen tested, they're focus group tested. Those people are trying to make as much money as they can from those movies. So it's just a different kind of thing. I think that everybody, if you're going to be a writer, should be familiar with how to tell a story.
Yeah.
But like I was saying before, if you want to tell weird stories that aren't super conventional, you can do that.
Yeah.
But it's hard. You got to like find your own voice.
Exactly.
You got to find out how to do it in a way that people want to hear it. That's another thing too, is you may feel like really entitled that everybody should be hearing this story that you have to tell. But if you're not holding people's attention for whatever reason, you know, you got to make your stuff entertaining if you're trying to be an entertainer.
Try something new, like innovative.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, Nelson, what would you do if you could start over on the photography, videography route? What would you do? How would you start over? It's a tough question.
Yeah, it is. When I first started out, you kind of get in like that honeymoon phase where you just really want to go out and like do everything and you're like always shooting. So I would probably do that the same. I probably wouldn't buy some of the stuff that I bought right away.
Tell them so people kind of know.
Well,
Is it a lot of...
I'm embarrassed to say this, but like I saw like all the vloggers and everything, like everyone out there.
Oh, giving out the courses or what?
No, just like I wanted to do like vlogging and everything.
Yeah.
And so I bought the Gorilla Pod
Yeah.
and the mic and everything. I didn't start doing video for like 6 or 7 months after I bought my camera.
Damn.
So I was stupid. Like
Yeah.
that was so stupid. But yeah, I would probably just invest it into like lenses and everything and just really try to absorb everything.
Exactly. Jack, what would you do if you could start over? Go back and start over.
I'd just start earlier.
Yeah.
My whole thing was just not really being real comfortable with the idea that I liked doing this stuff.
Exactly.
Because, you know, I felt like a real pressure to do something that... And I've talked to my family and stuff later, and they're like, how did you get this idea? We're not telling you that you need to like be an accountant, bro. And I don't know. So I would just start earlier, just enjoy myself more, I guess, and not be so hard on myself.
I like that. Okay, Nelson, where do you see the future of Nelson King Photography? What are like the goals that you have right now? Like, would you like to have your own studio? How many people would you like on your team? Or would you want to be a one-man band? Do you want to do weddings?
Right now, I am in the process. This is like the structure of everything. Right now, I want to do like senior and wedding photography.
It's that time.
Yeah, just because like it's kind of like the building blocks and
It's good
steps
money.
of everything.
Yes.
It's a good way to get like new followers and attraction to your page, and then also like the money and everything. And then I want to be able to do that full time so I can like quit my job.
Yeah.
I love the kids, but I'd rather be doing this full time.
Exactly.
And then transfer into like a YouTube, more like video and
that.
everything, and just kind of like sort of like more of the influencer content creator online. That's what I want to be. I want to have like the online money instead of having to be there for the
digital
wedding shoots.
content.
Yeah, that's what
I like that. I think that's why a lot of people do courses and like the how-tos. But sometimes, yeah, if you need to make your money and that's a good way of doing it, go ahead. So for you, Jack, what are your plans for the future for your broadcast? Are you trying to reach to a Sundance film? Are you trying to be an actor also alongside with being the production side of it? Like,
I've done acting, but like not. I did 2 plays and I did a play in high school where I didn't have any lines, and I did I did a play in middle school. So I don't really consider myself an actor. I think what I would really like to do is kind of like what Nelson said, is just take my talents into an online space. So I can just move around and like travel and enjoy myself, and then, work from wherever I'm based, and I can make corporate videos or
commercials.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoy doing this art stuff, but it's really hard to make that profitable. And I'm not the most business-minded person, but I know a few ways of how to do that. So, I mean, something like Sundance or whatever, this is like the upper echelon. This is like the top guys, the top directors in the world are going to places like that.
Yeah.
So I would really have to like really grind to get myself there. Maybe at some point in the future that would be awesome, but as of right now, I'm just kind of focused on figuring out my style and my craft.
Just getting your portfolio, your resume.
Exactly.
Okay, so is there a quote that inspires you every day? Is there something that you tell yourself every day?
Let me think on this for a second.
Go ahead, Nelson, if you got one.
I got to think hard about this one because I see a lot of quotes and I save a lot of quotes, but...
Like, which one sticks that you can memorize?
This is one that I always say. I'm not sure if it's like a quote from someone out there, but I just always say that everything happens for a reason. So like something bad happens in your life, happens for a reason. Like the grass is always greener on the... However that saying goes. I don't remember how that saying goes, but I don't know. I think that is kind of what helps to keep me positive and to keep me going, because I'm pretty laid back. Like, I don't really stress about anything too much, like money-wise or job-wise, like anything really.
Yeah.
I just kind of go with the flow because everything happens for a reason.
Facts.
I think everything's going to work out in the way that it needs to.
I agree. Have you thought about it?
Yeah. One quote that my dad always tells me
Shout out, Pops.
says, "Shit or get off the pot."
Oh, wait.
Oh.
Shit or get off the pot?
It's kind of
like
vulgar.
that.
Yeah, I kind of like
But
that
I
too.
like it because I'm an indecisive person.
Facts.
And so sometimes I just need to tell myself, just make the choice.
Yep.
You don't obsess over what each
perfect-
outcome is going to
Yeah.
be. Just make the choice.
Yeah.
Live with it.
I totally agree with it because the whole time you're just overthinking instead of doing.
And think how much time you're putting stuff off, like
Yeah.
being consumed with thinking about it. Like you could have just made your decision and worked with it and then done whatever you need to do afterwards. But I know there's a lot of people who are, at least for myself anyway, I know there's a lot of times in my life that I've been in a lot of situations where I've just putting stuff off instead of trying to deal with it when it needs to be dealt with.
Yep.
So
I totally.
Oh, I got this other one.
What's that?
I saw it on Facebook actually. It was some interview with Jackie Chan,
Oh, hex yeah.
and she asked him, "What advice will you give to people?" And he said, "Travel. Your money will return. Your time won't."
Facts.
That's,
I like that.
Yeah, like I wanna. Once I turn this into like online business and everything, that's what I want to do. Just
'cause
go spend my years traveling the
Then
world.
You could also repurpose that too.
Yeah,
If you
exactly.
wanted to film.
Yeah.
Or if you want to keep
I
it
probably
private.
would, honestly, but I think that's one big thing for me is like when you're on your deathbed, like getting ready to die.
Yes.
Like what are you gonna have to show for it? Like you got some cool cars and everything, like whatever. Yeah, no. But like your experience and everything, like, oh, I went to Africa and I saw this, I met these people, like I helped these people, I went to I climbed Mount Everest,
Yeah.
something like that, something crazy like that. But just having all those experiences and everything, that's
I
what's big
agree,
for
man.
me.
I think going back to what Jack was saying, shit or get off the pot, right? A lot of times for me, since I do a lot of things that are like kind of artistic, kind of creative, I overthink because I've compared my work to somebody and it's like, it's not like his. I'm not going to put it out. Instead of like realizing perspective is everything and everybody has a different perspective, especially when they look at photography. Like somebody can be like, oh, that's really good color grading. But somebody could be like, damn, why is that model positioned like that? Like, that's why I'm like, okay, when I create songs, I become so paralyzed on like, are people gonna sing this? Can people rap along to this? But I'm like, if they really like it, they'll do it regardless. Instead of, I don't like that line. Like when I really think about it, how many people are really like? Most of the time, it's for the emotion, the vibration that comes with the music. So as long as that is out there, I feel like my work is done. And it doesn't live inside of me anymore. Yeah. That it's out there, that I can move on instead of half-pregnant ideas all the time.
Paralysis by analysis.
Yeah.
That was pretty good, actually.
That's a
Yeah.
good quote.
Dropping dimes.
That's a good time to put sound effects.
Ching, ching.
Bro, I want to do sound effects on here, just like...
Oh, you want a soundboard?
Yeah, like...
Oh, that'd be cool.
Can I just do it on here?
Just download some MP3s in a folder. You just click on it.
Or you could like just like do the motion and then insert it later. Like when we're editing.
All right, okay.
Certified hood
So... I can't say this yet. Okay. How do you guys create motivation for yourselves?
It's tough. That's a tough question. Because that's something that I constantly think about.
There's a balance with everything, but sometimes we're too balanced.
Yeah. That's real tough for me. It's always been a struggle in my life is finding that motivation. And I've noticed recently, I've been thinking about a lot recently, actually. It's funny you asked this question. It's one of the things that I think really helps me is putting myself in uncomfortable situations.
Facts.
Because then I have nowhere else to go. It's kind of like you put your back against the wall. Like, all right, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to dive in head first. Because then I've committed that I'm in it.
Yes.
And that's the only thing that really motivates me is all right, I have to give myself no other options.
Yes.
I have to make myself uncomfortable.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm smiling over here because I was literally having this conversation with Lexi I think Friday night. Like, and I said the same exact thing. I was like, I think this is why I'm so impulsive.
Yeah.
Like, I will plan a trip like the week before. I
rolling?
literally planned. Or no, this was like a trip that we were actually gonna go to.
Oh, shit.
Like, we bought the tickets and everything. We're gonna go see Posty out in San Francisco, and I bought the tickets one night when I was having fun.
Yeah.
You know, when I was having fun, I was like, you know what, like, let's just go do this. Like, why not? We'll deal with the money later.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
whatever. Had to deal with it. Yeah, it was pretty tough to deal with it. But I was like, gosh, I think this is why I'm so impulsive, because I can't find the motivation any other way besides going and putting myself in debt and be like, okay, you got to get out of this somehow. So it's either like you make it work or you're done for.
Yes.
It's like you have no other option but to get it done.
That's literally me, because I have enough things to look back on to push me forward, but obviously life gets in front of that, so it gets foggy. So I'm like, damn, tell your parents came over here, not for you to just sit around, but I'm like, I need to relax.
Yeah. It is a balance. You do got to find
And
that.
then it's like, okay, now I'm relaxing too much, because I see one of my homies like doing really good, and I'm proud of him. But it's like, I know I can do that too. But then I start to do whatever I was going to do, and then it's like, oh, it's not perfect enough. Then I'm like, now that I think about it, I'm like, okay, just do it.
Yeah.
You don't have to put it out.
Exactly.
It's the feeling within you that you need to get it done. Approval doesn't matter when it comes to, like, when I put it out, it's like, okay, cool. Do people like it? If not, cool. Have I provided value? All right, perfect. That's what I'm mostly focused on. How did I provide the value? Instead of, I'm just gonna keep this idea in. Well, yeah, just going back to the motivation part. Like, I'm very torn between putting up motivational quotes on my fucking walls here or at work, because it becomes more of not self-pity, just like, bro, what are you doing?
Negative self-talk.
Yes.
You're just constantly like, you're not doing enough. You should be doing more. Do more.
And it's like, I'd rather do it to myself than somebody else. But it's like, what would I? I don't know. But it's literally the negative self-talk. I don't know if I've learned that from society, because I don't think I had that when I was younger.
Maybe it just
Like, you're stupid. How?
Yeah.
What am I comparing myself to?
Maybe just, I think a lot of people sort of face that negative self-talk.
Yeah.
And it affects some more than it affects others.
Yes.
But, it's something we all got to deal with. Something that really, I think, is also should be known about motivation is you can practice it.
Facts.
Do something. Okay, so you want to do something big, but you can't get the motivation to do it.
Yeah.
Start with something small, man. Just like clean up your room a little bit.
That's
Like-
get your house in order.
Do your laundry. Go run for a little bit. Do
Yes.
something. Just practice achieving little things.
Yep.
And then it makes it easier to achieve the bigger things because you can do that stuff.
Facts.
I've started using like a planner.
Yeah, that's helpful
And
too.
yeah, I didn't for the longest time because I was like, oh, I don't
It's
need
over the head.
Yeah, I'm
It's
like, I
like,
don't need a planner.
but when you X something out, you're like,
Yeah, that feeling is so good. And you're like, yeah, I just
worry
did
about
that.
it. Yeah.
Like, what's next? Like, let's go.
Exactly.
But I think that's a big one. I think that's something that people should use a lot.
Yes.
And you don't even have to get like the one that you have to write them down. Like you have your calendar in your phone and you can
Exactly.
set for like
Yeah, task or
alarms and
reminder,
everything.
yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot too because then it just pops right up on your phone when you're sitting at
Exactly.
home watching the YouTube when you should be doing something else. And it's
Exactly.
like, you should be doing this.
Block that
Yes.
time out for yourself.
Yeah.
Plan it out, man.
That's what it is. Planning stuff out. Because, like, a lot of times it's just going to chill in here. So you're like, why do I have all this anxiety?
Hold on to it all.
Exactly, because you think you'll remember certain things, or that's what I've learned from some of my coworkers or people from school. Like, I'm like, how do you deal with this? They're like, I just write everything out. But I still kind of freak out when I look at what I have to do, but I know what I have to do.
Right.
Instead of like, wait, I feel like I have to do something this Friday, and I forgot. So the whole time after I said that, I'm nervous. Like, did I set up a meeting, set up a call? Fuck. So that's tough. So I think these are the conversations that need to be done, because a lot of the times when we were friends, it's more on like the joy side of like, bro, it's good to see you.
Yeah.
We're having fun,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is obviously good. But these cathartic conversations of building oneself, building the confidence, ways to stay motivated, I think that's very crucial, especially in America.
Yeah.
Because everybody's taught this is the bar.
Right.
If you ain't there, you ain't.
I think that America and like Japan are very similar in that way.
Yeah.
That you have to be like grinding. Like America is about industrialists and inventors and all these people who have done all these amazing things. And New York is a city that never sleeps.
Yeah.
It's all about hustle, baby. So, you know, that's just the sort of culture that we have. And people are working themselves to the bone.
And they think that's like.
And they think they should be doing that. It's like, man, you're not enjoying yourself.
Exactly.
You're not having
living.
Even if you do have to work, because I understand, man, stuff happens in life, and like, you know, you got kids, you got whatever, you got payments that need to happen. Sometimes you just got to pay bills, and I get that.
Facts.
But you need to schedule some time for yourself to do something that you enjoy.
You
Even
drive
if
yourself crazy if you don't.
if it's an hour a day, if that, like, just find some time where you're like, all right,
Decompress.
this is me.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is me.
It's very crucial. Because like Haley's like, you're always doing something. She's like, spend time with me. And I'm like, at the time, I'm like, no, I got to do this. But I'm like, no, I actually should be spending time with you.
When you look out, when you have other people in your life like that who are willing to be real with you in that way.
Snap you out.
Yeah, it's like they can just pull you completely out of your head.
You're like,
and they're like, oh, because you know it's coming from a place of love. You know that they're not trying to, you know, look down on you or talk to you negatively in the way that you do to yourself. So it's like, oh, I can just look at my situation objectively through your eyes.
Facts. That's why Haley, like, she is so needed in my life, because like I was writing down questions for this episode just like an hour before. She's like, why'd you do this? You know, when we were hanging out Friday night, you could have just been doing this. I was like, well, I need to spend time with you. She's like, I would have understood. And then you don't have to rush. You don't have to rush on Sunday, because like I was telling you, like I've been rushing all day to get things done when I could have just done it Friday. Yeah, I had stuff Saturday. I had to make some errands. We tried to figure out stuff with the previous episode, so it's kind of like my mind's jumbled. And I told her I'd meet with one of my friends. So the whole time I'm just like, I could have just done it on the downtimes that I had instead of 30 minutes less on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know?
You know what's crazy? If you write down every single thing that you do like during the week, like basically just like your schedule and everything, and just look at it.
Oh my God, I don't know if I want to do that.
Yeah, like you will see, and just like count it up, you will see how much free time you actually have, and it is a disgusting amount.
Yeah.
Like, and you're like, God, I am a lazy piece of shit. Like, I could be doing a lot more right now.
Yes.
But I think that's what some people need when they're like, oh, I'm just too busy for this. Like, I'm too busy to do what I actually want to do, what I love. Like, I don't have time for it. Like, yes, you do. Everyone has time.
Write it out.
No doubt.
We can keep going on that subject. Okay. How do you guys separate your emotions from difficult situations?
Give me an example.
Let's say at work, somebody's like, no, a customer's upset, right? And you were, I'm trying to think of a good example, because I didn't think about an example when I wrote this question.
What was the question again?
How do you separate your emotions from difficult situations? It could be relationships, because a lot of the times it could be just miscommunication, where I'm coming from it like, this is how I see it. And then it comes to us maybe yelling. I don't do, but it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, instead of thinking about it logically, we use our emotions instead. So what do you think are some tips for people who are going through difficult situations? Especially, do you breathe 10 deep breaths before you react a certain way? Do you smell something, touch something, taste something, just so you stay grounded instead of getting your emotions riled up? So, like, how do you guys separate your emotions when you're going through a difficult situation? Okay, as we were saying, how do you guys separate your emotions from when you guys are in difficult situations?
I would say
Still tough.
taking a step back. And me and Lex do this a lot. Just we don't deal with it right away. If we have a problem, like we state it, and then we take some time, both think about it, get the emotions out of it, like try to get the other person's perspective, and then you can come and talk about it like a real person.
Exactly.
Like not just someone who's like extremely mad and just saying stuff that they don't mean and everything. And I think for me, most of the time, I'm just a really patient person.
I like that.
You know, so like I said, I just don't really stress about things, you know? And so I get if people are like mad and everything, like people have bad days. So it's like, you know what? Okay, like be mad. You can be mad at me, but like let's just take a step back, and then a little bit we can actually talk about it and actually have a conversation about it.
I like that.
It's funny you asked this. I've been thinking about it a lot recently because I'm really bad at this. Like really bad at this.
Yeah.
I don't really get angry. Anger is not really something that comes to me naturally.
You go to isolation?
Yeah, I isolate myself. I'll like, out of spite, like I won't talk to you.
Yeah.
Like, that sort of thing. I get anxious over stuff, and I like, I obsess over things. I'm obsessed over things. I'm very imaginative, so if I don't know, like what somebody thinks or feels
You're
about
filling
me,
in the blanks.
yeah, I'm just creating conversations that don't exist. I'm creating feelings that don't exist. So for me, it's just kind of like Nelson said, and you just got to take a breath. Thing that always helps me is like, okay, what evidence do I have to support this scenario I've created in my brain? Did they actually tell me that? Am I just assuming that?
Yes.
I don't know. But like, I'll write it out sometimes. Literally, I'll be like, okay, here's what happened. Here's how it made me feel. And that's just, it helps me.
Yeah, everybody's kind of different.
Everybody's different, but that's just what I do. Like,
I agree, though.
And then I'll check and see, okay, not like, obviously I feel that way. It's not like, is feeling this way valid, but do I have evidence to support the feeling that's happening? Because feelings happen to you. That's another thing that I've learned recently. It's just like, emotions, it just happens.
Energy and motion. Emotion. So yeah, since we're kind of talking about relationships.
All right.
What are some things I see it with social media right now? The romanticizing of relationships on how they should be. And so people, once they're like in the dating phase, they think people should be a certain way. I have this notion of accept people as who they are, because they're gonna show you, like, they might say certain things, but their actions will show. So like, say somebody's dating, like, what are, other than looks, personality, what are some things that they should look for? I think a person who's patient and understanding and not willing to always, like, I have to always be right.
Right.
Because, like, as a man, we're very logical. So it's kind of like, well, this and this happened, so you're not right. But her emotions are going to rile it up. So my question is, when you guys, before you guys started dating, what were you guys looking for in a girlfriend?
I just wanted somebody I could just talk to, just about whatever.
Support system?
Not necessarily. Obviously, you want your partners to support you, but it's not like I need. I don't need a cheerleader. I don't need somebody who's like, "Oh, my boyfriend's the best." Oh, yeah, I don't need that. You know, but like if I want to tell you about, because I talk about weird stuff, I watch weird things.
Same.
I want to feel comfortable with the person I'm with, because I just want them to let me have the space I need to talk about the stuff that I need to talk about. Whatever that may be.
I look at like the person, and if they're generally just a good person to people, you know, this is my pet peeve. Like, I absolutely hate it when you are just mean to people for no reason, or just for any reason at all. Like, I just don't think you need to really be mean to people.
That's a huge red flag.
Yeah,
people
like,
talk like, if your partner is talking shit about whoever else is in their life, then it's pretty likely they're doing the same thing about you.
Yeah,
that
no
goes
doubt.
for friends. That goes for whoever, man. Like
That's so true.
you don't want to bring that negativity into your life.
Yeah, I hate that stuff. And so if you're generally just a good person, like you're always nice to people, always respectful, like I love that. And I will be instantly attracted to you besides like your looks and everything else. Like that.
Yeah, that'll be a factor, but not the total factor.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, people are complicated, and if you're looking for somebody, there's a multitude of factors that'll coalesce into a human being.
Yes.
That will drive your attraction towards them. So it's just like, you generally want your partners to be kind and respectful and all that good stuff.
We'll talk about relationships later. I want to talk more about vulnerability, especially when it comes to relationships. But we'll talk about that later. So we're gonna kind of come back. So, are there any side projects that you guys would like to mention that you're doing, or any ideas of starting one? Any side projects or ideas that you would want to do?
I have one that I just recently thought of. I want to do this when I get my new camera. I'm going back on what I say a lot, but like, I know how to use the camera in a way that I know it'll make it better.
Yes.
So that's why I want to wait.
Yes.
But I want to do a project with like my grandparents, and I want to do it like interview style about like just life.
Storytelling.
Yeah, like what was good about their life? Like what advice would you give someone who's just starting out? Like someone who's trying to make the decision of going to college or going out and starting in the workforce. Like having that from them at like 60, 70, 80 years old. And then I want to do it with like my parents. And then I want to do an interview with like me.
Yes.
And like where I'm at in life, how I feel about things, like what advice I would give to someone who's just a little bit younger than me and everything like that. And I want to put all that together and
that's fucking
post it to YouTube and everything. And
that's dope.
I think it's a good thing to look back on, like especially if you're having a hard time. I would just love it myself to see like what my grandparents would give me, like what advice they would give me if they were here.
Exactly.
Like when I'm older.
I like that, man.
That's good, yeah. It's very wholesome.
Any ideas?
Yeah, I talked to you guys.
You're done school 2022?
Yeah, that's the plan. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Might have to take a summer in there. I don't know. But yeah, as far as projects right now, I'm trying to do some. I've told you guys about this before. I really like cartoons. It's just always something I've enjoyed. I like animation. I like the freedom that you have with that. I like how silly you can be. I like how absurd you can be. And that's like my wheelhouse as far as art's concerned. Is I like absurdism. I like avant-garde things that are outside of the norm. I think stems from me like growing up feeling like an outsider. So I like outsider stuff. But yeah, I just want to make. I've been working on this claymation for a little while. I'm scripting it out as we speak. I'm scripting it out at the moment. But yeah, I'm working on that. It should be some fun little videos. They should be funny. A little comedy, little web series.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm excited to see that.
I'm excited to get it done. Pain in my butt.
Okay, since we were kind of talking about relationships, family earlier, who are three people that who have been most influential to you? It doesn't have to be family, but who are three people? Yeah. Who are three people who have been influential to you?
That is a good question to think about.
I have a few. My father's.
Let's do five.
Oh shit. My father's been very influential. A really good friend of mine, his name is Mackenzie Davenport. He's been very influential. As far as just like accepting that this is the sort of thing that I like to do and it's okay.
I love that.
And we play off each other like that.
Accepting.
Like, yeah. I had a teacher named, two teachers. They taught in one classroom though. So it was like, I would go into their classroom for 2 hours and they would switch in between. Their names are Shauna Meyer and Carolyn Goodwin. They changed my life. They just changed my whole way of like how I think about things. And it was a class all about like the world.
Life. I like that.
But when you're from Nebraska, right, you don't know too much.
Yeah,
so
this is a bubble.
they just sit you. I mean, they've traveled and they've done things, and so they're like, okay, you know, we're going to tell you a little bit about what we know about the world, and just give you the tools that you need to be able to interpret information and experience things and approach situations and people you're unfamiliar with kindness and understanding, especially like in between cultures too.
Yeah.
Because they're, you know, worldly folks. They're well read. They understand that there are differences in cultures that, you know, me as an American might find something offensive, but there was no ill intention meant behind whatever somebody else was doing. So
travel.
Just, but like, again, being from Nebraska, I'd never gone anywhere. So being able to have that lesson, I think really helped me and really like makes me want to go do that stuff. Having that
That's
knowledge.
Cool class.
No, it was a great class. It straight up, it changed my life.
I like that. Nelson?
I would say one, being my mom.
Facts. Shout out, mama.
My mom and me are too similar. Way too similar. And I know a lot of times, like, we both hate it. Yeah. Especially when I was growing up, like, hitting the teenage years. Like, I was the younger one, so my sister had already gone off. She had already started her life and everything. So it was just basically me and my mom around each other most of the time. And we are both very stubborn people. Ooh. And we don't like to give in whatsoever. So we would like butt heads constantly. Yeah. But that also like helped me, I think to be able to stand up for myself, believe in myself as a person and like what I'm doing and know like I'm going to get this done. Like I'm not going to quit until I get this done. And so yeah, she helped me with that. I would say my dad, he is pretty much the opposite of my mother. He is very patient. Like he will deal with all my mom's moods and her scream fest that me and her get into or used to get into. But he taught me just a lot of patience and he treats my mom very well. He taught me to be like a good person, a good man, and how to treat and respect people. Yeah. Which I really like. And then Lexi just being like my support system and
shout out Lexi.
She day one fan of me and my work. She always has been, always will. And that's something you need when you're starting in something like this.
Exactly. You need some reassurance.
Yeah. So those are my three.
That's beautiful. There's so many things I want to talk about. Fathers. Really important to have a father. Sometimes even my father wasn't too present when I was 16. So everybody, I'm the oldest, so a lot of them were younger. Right. So they have this idea of my father and like, we didn't need him, you know? But it's like we definitely did because like fathers provide structure. They maybe had an idea of what our dad should be, but they don't understand what our dad is, where his culture is from. Like he's an African dad who's the Noor tribe, so he's a certain way. He's stuck in his ways. So they're like, I want dad to be this way, and list goes on. So, but they don't realize the effects that he has put on them that have been positive. Yeah. Whether it's sticking up for yourself, putting yourself to a high standard, and always not disgracing the family, but have a pride in yourself and your family. And when I told that to my siblings, they didn't realize like that's the effect that a dad has on a kid. So, what are some things that you learned from your dad that has benefited you? Because a lot of people don't have fathers. That's true. Or mothers, but most of the time they don't have fathers.
Yeah, two parents is, I think, very important. Yeah. You learn different things from each one. You know, from your mother, you learn like about affection and love and like, and from your father, you learn respect and, you know, you should be getting like drive. And I'm very proud of my father. My father taught me a lot. You know, he came here to play football. Then he dropped out of school. He was like, screw it, I want to drink gin and hang out with my friends. So
Yeah.
that's what he did. But he hit a point in his life where he was like, man, I didn't get serious. I didn't get serious. So I got to stop messing around. So he got serious, and now he's doing like amazing things. Like I never thought, I don't know what I thought actually, but I've seen him do this journey ever since I was a little kid. You know, I was born.
You get to see that.
Yeah, I literally was like born as his career started, and then just I've watched him as I've grown up.
Wow,
That's crazy.
But no, he taught me all kinds of stuff, mainly just how to talk to people is what I really got from my dad. My dad is excellent at talking to people, and just he has a lot of confidence when he does it, and he's just always respectful, and he's always like he's just good at it, man. He's just he knows how to get his points across. He knows how to
direct.
Just he's great at talking to people, and so that's one of the main things I learned from him.
Nelson.
Me and my dad, I think we have a weird relationship.
Yeah.
Like a pretty weird relationship where, like growing up, we didn't talk very much.
Of course.
It's not like we didn't like spending time with each other or anything. It's just like we would spend time with each other, but
He's not a talkative guy.
yeah, we wouldn't talk very much. And so we would always go hunting and fishing. That's a lot of things that we would do. And like no word would be said on the car ride there. Like hours would go by.
Wow.
And we'd be sitting in a blind or sitting on the boat and like just nothing.
Yeah.
And
Patience.
Patience.
Oh my God.
That's why I think that I am so patient today with my life, with relationships, with people. Like he has taught me to be patient. And I think that's probably one of the biggest things that I've learned in life is like you have a long but short time on this earth.
Facts.
You need to be patient. Things aren't going to happen like that. And you just need to stay consistent with like hunting and fishing. You know, stay consistent, do your work, and good things will come.
I love it. Okay, we're getting there on time. Okay. Pivot. Okay. What is one way that you guys think Blazin' the Trail podcast can make a difference?
I think the main thing that you do is when you get people on here, I know so many people who just are like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to start. I don't know. They don't feel confident. They don't feel like their ideas are good. They don't feel like they can take time off of work, like, or make time for the things that they want to do.
Yeah.
And not even like art, not even like creativity, just whatever, man. You want to take karate classes. You feel like I don't have time to take karate classes. But you do. And just, this is really I really think this will help people meet other folks who have been in that situation. And when you see yourself in somebody else and see that they've made it out, it's motivating.
Exactly.
It's inspiring.
Totally.
I have two things. One bouncing off of Jack. I think people need to realize that the people who come on here, like they aren't the best in their industry.
Exactly.
Like they're not
Progress.
They're still on their journey, you know, and they might not even be too far ahead of you.
Yeah, exactly.
As far as like the journey goes.
Yes.
So like the people who come on here, this could be you in a year or two.
Exactly.
If you keep the work going or whatever. But like I think people need to realize that. And then once they know that, okay, this is achievable.
Exactly.
In not too long of a time. But yeah, there's my first point. Second point, going back to how I watched so much YouTube. I hated school so much.
Yes.
Especially going through like middle school and high school. Like I despised it. I didn't want to do any of my homework. Like I hated it. So I would sit in my room for hours and hours, all through the hours of the night, just watching YouTube. And it was like just my favorite thing to do. And watching the same person play the same game for hours on end, I could do it all day.
Yeah.
But I think it was because it was a way for me to get joy and happiness when I wasn't really happy, like, going to school.
I like that.
So I think this could be an outlet for people just to get some joy and, like, get some motivation, you know?
Yeah.
Or just, like, something to watch where they look forward to it every single day or every single Sunday.
Like a guy, like, or a girl that you haven't seen in a long time and they just tune in. How's Nelson doing?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Like, it's just simple things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, whoa, I didn't know Nelson was like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that kind of gives me kind of some inspiration to start going on my path. Same thing with you, Jack. It's just like, oh, I didn't know Jack was about to be done with school. He was holding rope for these guys, doing events. Like, that's why I wanted to create something like this, because I didn't have it when I was younger. So I wanted to provide that kind of value for somebody starting out.
No doubt.
Because, like, I already knew, like, not many people are going to watch or listen at the beginning. But I see it as a marathon of, like, yeah, we're going to start local with the great things that people are doing here. And then next thing you know, we'll catch up with them in the next 2 years to see if they've pivoted or they've continued on that trail or that journey. So I think, and it's also for me too, to be like, okay, what did I learn from all these guys that I've had as guests?
That's another thing too, man. It's like, you just take little bits of information already, man. The past, like, 4 guests we've had, is just
they've been amazing.
Just taking every little thing that I can from them.
And it's like, they're in different industries.
Exactly.
So that's why I think it's very important that, okay, maybe you're not into film, but there's a lot of tips that Jesse could have gave you that pertains to your industry. So I think it is important to check out every guest that we have, because you're always going to learn something. There's a quote that I liked. Be willing to know that you're not always right, and also that you can learn something from the other person. So, yeah. So what are some hopes that you guys have for the podcast? Would you guys like to see us in a bigger space with air condition? Is there another spot? Like, I myself would like to have us be in a studio where it could be a creative space where you can do the editing there, and it's not like the back and forth of
text this, text that.
Exactly. And
you're just right there. I'd be like, hey, man, I got this problem.
We have a backdrop, okay? Nelson's doing photography there. Or we have kind of like a small stage setup where Jack can do like small skits here and there. That's what I want. That's the hopes that I have for the podcast. But obviously, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
You know? So what are your hopes?
I just hope that people buy into the stuff we're talking about. I just hope that they listen to this and be like, oh, these guys are not feeding me a line.
Exactly.
They're just trying to figure it out, just like me.
Yes.
And they can gel with that, share with their friends, and just, like, realize that there's people out there just like you who are confused and worried and are trying to figure out what to do.
Exactly.
No doubt.
But there's folks here, too, who are blazing trails, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
So hop on the wave.
I think people... go ahead, Nelson. If you have
It was just basically like the same thing. Like, this is all free information.
Yes.
Like, we're not trying to sell you a course or anything here. Maybe in the future. Just kidding. I'm just playing. But, like, this is all free information. Like, we are not too far ahead of where if you guys are just starting out. Like, these are things that I wish I could talk to someone about when I was just starting out. Like, I feel like the people that you learn from, they're all very well established. Like, on YouTube, they're pros. Like, they are years and years ahead of or past those same emotions, those same feelings that a beginner will go through. But, like, I still consider myself a beginner, and I still get all these beginner emotions, you know? So I think this is a great way to compare and, like...
It's a time to reflect.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I totally agree.
I don't even think I answered the question, though.
No, it worked.
I think I went on a different way. But I would like the studio, the AC, bigger space.
Like, I could put on the heat, but it's going to... that microphone's going to pick it up.
Yeah.
These mics won't. So once I get another mic, it'll replace that, and then we can do that.
Yeah, they... appreciate what we're doing here, the sacrifices, the pain we're going through. We're having these hot lights on us in the hot room. Like,
I want to open the window but we're right by a road, so that's not going to be good. We don't want you to be even more distracted in your life right now. Jack, what is your daily routine?
My daily routine?
Yes.
I get up at the same time and go to bed at the same time every day. And I think that's very important.
Yes.
You need your sleep. Sleep affects you a lot more than you think it would. And I understand, you're young, you're doing whatever.
Yep.
And having those times every once in a while is okay. But really, it's going to be a lot, at least for me. Everybody's different.
Yes.
It's just a lot better for me to have that, consistency.
Yes.
It just makes me happier.
Circadian rhythm.
So I wake up every day. I go to work pretty much right away. I usually eat a little breakfast. That's another thing, too. People skip breakfast. Don't do that, man. Don't do that. I get it if, I'm fasting, bro. Eat something. You need fuel. You need fuel in your body.
Yes.
I work, and then I go home. I work out, and then I go home. And then after I'm done working out, I go home and I'll write or...
I like that.
I journal a lot too.
I remember you telling me last week.
And then I usually stretch and meditate before I go to bed.
I like that.
And just 10 minutes. You don't even have to do that much.
Yeah, bro. It's simple.
I set a timer on my phone.
I got
10
time.
minutes.
I got time.
Put it down right before I go to bed, and I just sit and think for a while.
You don't even have to have a certain objective. Nope. It's just to do it.
Just to calm down. Just to take a breath, be process your day, and just relax before you go to bed.
I like that. Before we hear from Nelson, we're going to take a little break.
You're going to have to remind me of the question.
All right. Nelson, what is your daily routine?
I don't like going after you. I wish I went before. 'Cause, you are a really productive person.
I'm really not, man. You think I'm really not.
To me, not being a very productive person, that sounds really productive. But
yes.
My schedule, I wake up, whether I stayed up late or not, I'll sleep in later and then have to rush to work.
Yes.
At 6:45, and then I work till 9, and then I get off, and I have 8 hours because I work at a school, so I work. It's a before and after school program, so I had the 8 hours while they're in school to do whatever, and so I watch a lot of YouTube most days, and then I also just think about things.
Yes.
I'm a big thinker. I like to think, just get in my own mind. And that's when I'll come up with stuff like that last project that I was talking about.
Yep.
That's when I'll do most of my shooting. If I have a video I want to do, or I'm just I'm really lazy, I need to go do something.
Yes.
And then I'll go to work at 3. And then after that, come home, I'll hang out with Lex, and then I'm a really big night owl.
Yeah, sounds like it.
I love to stay up super late, no matter what it is. I'll literally just sit up or stay up, just laying in my bed, not even on my phone, and I'll just stare up at the ceiling, just think, just really, really think. But
narcolepsy would never.
As soon as those lights go out.
Oh, is that my eyelid? Sorry, go ahead, Nelson.
No, that's basically it. Yeah, I don't have too much.
Okay. What genre of music can we find on your music playlist right now?
I don't even know what the genre is. It's kind of I don't know what it is. But I listen to a lot of Juice WRLD.
Rest in peace.
That's hip-hop.
The Kid Leroy.
Yeah. Melodic rap.
Yep, Lil Peep.
Yep.
I like his stuff.
I need to watch that.
Yeah, it's a good documentary. Look up, what is that called? Everybody's Everything on Netflix.
Everybody's Everything.
It's a documentary about Lil Peep's life. It's really good. That's what got me into listening to his music.
I like that.
I think that's pretty much it.
What about you?
What's on my playlist right now?
Yeah.
A lot of electronic stuff. I've been listening to a lot of dance music recently.
Like who?
There's this band called Orion that I really like.
Oh, yes.
They have this song, Time for Crime, that I like.
I like that.
Yeah. And then also just a lot of hip-hop. So much hip-hop.
Have you heard of Grizz?
Yeah.
Great. He's a great artist. EDM / soul / R&B. Okay. And is that what you? And then you said hip hop.
Yeah, there's so much hip hop.
Bro, lately I've been listening. There's a guy named Jacob Collier, right?
Okay.
He's a musician who could do almost every instrument. Like they're breaking down songs on YouTube, and like it's now got me on the path of Stevie Wonder.
Stevie's insane.
Like I'm like, this dude got a discography.
Stevie's crazy.
And it's like it's all like not all uplifting, but it's all great music.
Stevie is very talented.
It's crazy.
Highly underrated.
Like I'm getting into the space of liking these artists that almost do like all these instruments. FKJ, Fresh Kiwi Juice.
Yeah.
Tom Mish. I don't know how to say it. Masigo.
Don't look at me. I don't even know.
But yeah, it's that. I've been listening to a lot of EDM that Haley has introduced me to. I think you guys will like RL Grime.
Okay.
Because he is, I don't know, he or she, but it's EDM, but got hip hop.
Oh, yeah, perfect.
Like they got, there's a song called UCLA. There's another song, I forgot, but it's with Chief Keef. It's a banger.
UCLA?
Love soul.
UCLA. I don't know.
She just moved to LA. Yeah.
Yeah. Nah. So it's like that kind of stuff, like it has a breakdown.
Yeah.
Like that's like perfect for like festivals and shit like that.
Yeah, I used to listen to that a lot freshman year.
Yes.
You know what? Listening to other genres of music has made me realize that rap is by far my favorite. Hip hop is by far my favorite. It makes me appreciate it more.
Exactly.
Because I'll hear stuff that these hip hop guys are doing, and I'm just like, whoa, you're using the bass line from the Rolling Stones song. But it just makes me appreciate hip hop that much more.
Exactly. Hip hop does rule the world.
It's my favorite.
Because like hip hop is not just an African American thing. Yeah, it was birthed from African Americans, but it's like everybody puts their spin to it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's at the point in its life cycle that rock is at where all of these subgenres started to evolve.
Facts.
Punk started to come out of rock, man, and then you have like art house rock and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
So hip hop is at the point in its life cycle. It's so new. People forget how new this is. It is. So new that it's starting to do this and people are starting to go crazy. And then you get differences like you have Juice WRLD and Playboy Cardi's and all these other people.
Yes.
I'm excited to be alive and be a part of that.
Yeah.
Like, yes, cool. I get to find my subgenre. Like, I'm gonna be one of these punk rock dudes with the mohawk, but hip hop's version. Like, I'm hyped for this.
Because a lot of people, especially in the older hip hop, like I think it's some sort of like grudge because it's like, man, these are the origins and we're going away from it. But that's what evolution is like with music. Like we can't do the same shit over and over.
Won't grow.
Like, of course, we're gonna need. The Mac Millers. We're gonna need Jay-Z. We're gonna need.
I like all those guys, man. Yes. It's not like I hate that stuff, but I want to see what younger people can do with it.
Exactly.
Take it and run with it. Use it as a building block. Let's see what you can do, man.
Like most of these young artists, they're very hip to the festivals because that's what's popping right now. So they're making music for festivals. Like you don't want to go to a festival where dudes just like. There's times for that, but it's like. People are there to vibe out, kind of escape from everything. Yeah. Like, Playboy Cardi is live. He's crazy good in concert.
I bet.
I don't know what you be saying, but it's the feeling. I'm like,
yeah.
Hey. Like, that's why I think music is, especially hip-hop, is very important. Okay, we went on a tangent. Okay.
Love hip-hop.
What are 3 things we should know about y'all other than what y'all told us today?
Dude.
Starting with you, Jack.
3 things you should know about me. I like talking to people, and I miss people.
Same.
Especially with coronavirus. I love talking to folks. But I feel like I have that, like, I come off as, don't talk to me. Like, it's not true. I'll talk to you. I love talking to people. Oh, God.
Kind of tough, huh?
It is kind of tough. I'm a big sock guy. I got all kinds of crazy socks. Today on feet.
Oh, you was wearing Jesus last time.
Yeah, now it's Aphrodite.
Oh.
She's born of...
Where do you find these socks, bro?
I don't know, man. I have Wu-Tang socks. I have Kansas City Chiefs socks. And that's the other thing. Go Chiefs. I'm a Chiefs fan. My grandfather played for the Kansas City Chiefs in the Hall of Fame. His name's Buck Buchanan. Look him up.
Oh, shit.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm for real.
Oh, my God. That's a flex and a half.
I was so mad when we lost the Super Bowl.
Jeez.
So mad.
That's Dad's dad?
Yeah, my dad's dad.
Dang.
The dude's from Alabama. He was No joke.
Big
He's
boy.
like 6'7", something crazy. Yeah, he's a D lineman.
Oh,
I'm like, where's my 7 inches, bro? Where's mine?
You took mom's side, bro.
I guess. My dad's like, because he grew up near like a chemical plant. Like his father, so my great-grandfather, worked in like some chemical manufacturing business. You know how it goes. They could be making medicine or like treating paper. I don't know what they're doing over there. But my dad was like, there was something leaking in the water. He was a mutant. It would surprise me.
That's funny.
Oh, Nelson.
Yeah, so 3 things.
What are 3 things we...
The first one is opposite of you. I am not a big talker. I'm more of a, like a listener.
When we first worked together, I was like, this dude don't say shit.
I don't. I know, and I feel awkward during like social situations with like new people, especially like I'm not much of a talker. But if you want to like sit down and have like a deep conversation, I will listen to all your problems. Like I love those types of conversations.
Hell yeah. And
then just trying to like relate and vibe with someone, just get like really like know them.
Exactly.
I love that type of stuff. 2, I have my moods where like out in public, I can either be like, I'm just not gonna say a word to anyone, or like I am just some weird psychopath who's running around like screaming in the store. Like I do this in the store, like actually, like, and Lexi's like, oh my God, like you need to stop. Like she gets mad sometimes because like I'm just like freaking like flipping the car over. No, I love this when I do this in the store, but I'll like take the cart when she'll like walk in front of me. I'll fucking pick it up and I will walk around with the cart in my hands, and then she turns around and she's like, put that down. Like, what the hell are you doing? Third.
That's definitely something we would not have known.
Yeah. So if you see someone carrying a cart,
Nelson King.
that's probably me. Third, I just like to spend a lot of time by myself.
Oh.
Like,
yo, can I say this?
Yeah.
Patrice O'Neal. Have you heard
I
of him?
love Patrice O'Neal. He's so funny.
So he's like, men, we want women. Like, we want to be with women, but we don't want to be next to them all the time. So it's like, just know, like, I want to be alone, but I don't want to be alone.
It's like, I just want you to know you're in my house.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need to be talking. I just need you around. Like, I want you around but away.
I feel
so
that.
funny.
I feel that on a new level.
Like,
He's
yeah,
so funny.
I'm like, I just want to be by myself, but it's like, no.
You just want to know that someone's like around.
Yeah.
But you don't want to look at them all the time. I'm about that. I'm like that with my roommates too. It's not just women.
Yeah.
It's like my roommates. I'm like, man, I know you're here. That's all I need. We don't gotta hang out all the time, bro.
Okay. Rapid fire questions. Are you guys ready?
Let's get it.
All right.
Ready.
We're going to go from Jack to Nelson.
Okay.
Jack to Nelson. Jack to Nelson. LA or New York?
New York City.
New York City.
Most embarrassing store you might be seen at?
Most embarrassing store?
Yeah.
Michael's.
Oh. Oh my gosh. I'm not good at rapid fire. Hy-Vee, because I hate Hy-Vee.
You don't like Hy-Vee?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Despise it.
Have you ever worn socks with sandals, Jack?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite ice cream topping?
Chocolate sauce.
Chocolate what?
Sauce.
What are those one things called? They're like the little balls, and then you bite them and they like, explode.
Dip. Oh, wait, no. Wait, what?
What?
Ice cream topping?
It's like, or I guess it's like frozen yogurt. That's where you mostly get them from.
Like
They
a
explode?
boba type deal?
Yeah, it's kind of like
Like
that.
a tapioca pearl type thing? I don't know what you're
That's too
talking about.
complicated for me.
Yo,
It's
we'll have
something
to
like
put
that.
a
Yeah,
picture
it's
up.
something like that.
Okay. If you have a lot of money and plan to get married, will there be a prenup?
Hell yeah.
If I made the money while I was with her,
Yeah.
no. If I had it before meeting her, then yeah.
Okay, good. Place you want to travel to?
Morocco.
Hey,
Indonesia.
love it. It's a lot of colors. A nickname your parents call you?
My name's so short, man. Jack.
Pretty much like all throughout high school, they gave me Nelly.
Nelly.
That was my
Yeah,
nickname.
I forgot to call you.
You know?
Okay. Is double dipping at the party acceptable?
It's nasty. It's Corona time. You can't be
What if
doing that.
nobody's around?
Doesn't
They don't
matter.
see that.
It's Corona time. You can't be doing that.
I'm cool with it. Like as long as you're just not like, and then you go back in for it. I'm like, nah.
Making love that tortilla.
Yeah.
All right. Another question. What is something you could eat for a week straight?
De Leon's.
I'm with you.
Dino nuggets.
Dino nuggets?
Solid.
I need to know what that is.
What? Like dino chicken nuggets?
Y'all just shaped like dinosaurs?
Yeah.
Oh,
I do eat that for. That's my lunch every week.
All right. From 1 to 10, how hot do you like your shower water?
Like a 7.
I would say a 9.
Do you guys shower with your girlfriend?
Nope.
Sometimes. I like to shower by myself.
She's a 10. She's like, it's not that hot.
No. Yeah, they have some weird tolerance to that.
Yeah.
Like I'll be
You
like,
are from hell.
Yeah, like I'll get in there and it'll touch me and I will jump out of there so
like,
quick.
ooh,
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. Okay, if there's a snake in your house, do you kill it or call an exterminator?
I just let it out.
Run.
What kind of snake? Is it poisonous?
Could be.
Then yeah, just let it out.
What if it don't go out?
It's a snake. You should like cover it with a box.
I'm scared to do any of that.
Yeah, spiders,
My
snakes.
mom's been bit by a snake. She has nerve damage.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm not fucking with snakes.
That's scary stuff.
And I probably got that from her because that happened. She got pregnant with me. She passed it on to me, I think.
Oh, the fear.
Okay, and did you guys enjoy your time at Blazin the Trail?
Absolutely.
I did.
As the guest this time.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Very fun.
Do you guys have any questions for me?
No, man.
I don't believe so.
All right. Where can people find you guys and the things you're up to?
Follow me on Instagram at Buchanan_Jack.
Instagram, Nelson King Photography, TikTok, and Triller.
Triller. I need to get on that.
One of my videos just popped off. I'll show you it after this. But
Big moves.
it's just nking07, I think, on those.
Because I love to do karaoke type shit I need to do Triller.
Do it, yeah.
Anyways, so I would like to thank you guys for listening and joining us. Remember to leave a review on our podcast. Download the episode. We're doing pretty good, but we need a little bit of your help still. So just remember, you're already perfectly in progress, all right? Make sure to follow us on Instagram at Blazin the Trail Podcast. And if you know of a good guest or a great guest, make sure to hit me up, Jack, or Nelson. So thank you, Mr. Nelson and Mr. Jack. Thank you guys for listening to Blazin Trail Podcast. As always, start with yourself because you are the one. So make it happen.
That was a long one.
That was a good one, though.
Hell yeah. Hold on. Let's see. Hour 40, guys.